Just Cause 3, my favorite game of all time. After two 100% playthroughs, I still find this game amazing. In this video, we're exploring the world of Medici, the wild stunts you can pull off, and why this game is still an explosively good time years after its release. So grab your parachute, fuel up those nitros, and let's fly into this one. Now, you might ask me like, Pepin, you made a review on Just Cause, why are you talking about it again? Well, because I keep coming back to it. I'm like a seagull to a dropped french fry. No matter how many other games I play, Just Cause 3 is just sitting there, glinting in the sunlight saying, you know you want another taste of chaos. And honestly, who am I to resist? To me, the Just Cause series has always felt like this lovable, rebellious cousin to Far Cry. The kind of cousin who shows up to the family gathering with a bag of fireworks and a mischievous grin. In the same way Saints Row takes the seriousness of GTA but cranks up the absurdity, Just Cause brings the over-the-top energy to the open-world chaos that's very hard to ignore. But let's be honest here, for all the fun and spectacle that Just Cause 1 and 2 offered, both games had a frustrating habit of letting difficulty get in the way of their core promise. Delivering unbridled fun, whether it was overly punishing mechanics or missions that felt like roadblocks to freedom. They couldn't fully embrace the chaos they so clearly wanted to unleash. So when Just Cause 3 was announced, I'll admit I was cautiously optimistic. The trailers promised bigger explosions, better traversal, and a world that begged to be destroyed. But I couldn't shake the feeling that the same old problems might rear their heads again. Would it be another game that dangled the promise of endless fun, only to bog it down with frustrating gameplay loops? I was ready to temper my expectations. But then I finally got to play this game, and let me tell you, Just Cause 3 does not make the same mistakes. In fact, it doesn't just avoid them. In my opinion, it obliterates them in a fiery explosion of awesomeness. This game is wonderful. Yes, it has its bugs and quirks, but what open world game doesn't? The sheer joy of playing Just Cause 3 overshadows every rough edge. It's like Avalanche Studios took everything that worked in the first two games, amplified it tenfold, and then doubled down on making sure nothing got in the way of our fun. The result was a game that doesn't just live up to the hype, it soars above it in a wingsuit, a grappling hook, and a truckload of explosives. This is the Just Cause experience we've always wanted. Rico, having previously liberated the vibrant islands of San Esperito and the chaotic paradise of Panau, is now returning to his roots. He's headed to the land where it all began, Medici, a network of Mediterranean-inspired islands that's as beautiful as it is volatile. But Medici isn't the idyllic homeland Rico remembered. It's now under the iron grip of General Di Ravello, a ruthless fascist dictator who's ready to rule the world with fear and firepower. Di Ravello uncovered a natural resource unique to the islands, a rare and highly potent element called bavarium. This futuristic material isn't just valuable, it's practically unstoppable. It powers everything from advanced weapons to indestructible vehicles, giving this dictator a dangerous edge over anyone who dares to oppose him. With this bavarium at his disposal, Di Ravello doesn't just want to keep Medici under his thumb, he plans to use it as a stepping stone to global domination. Enter Rico Rodriguez. Called back to his homeland by old friends and new allies, Rico once again finds himself taking on the impossible, overthrowing this tyrant and liberating an oppressed nation. His mission? To systemically dismantle Di Ravello's regime by recapturing dozens of heavily fortified military bases, liberating oppressed towns, and leaving a trail of glorious destruction in his wake. But it's not just about blowing stuff up, although there's plenty of that. Rico Returns to Medici is also a personal journey. This isn't just another island on his globe-trotting crusade against tyranny, it's his home. And therefore, the stakes feel more intimate, the battles more meaningful, Every base he liberates and every town he frees isn't just another checkpoint on a map, It's a step toward reclaiming the land he grew up in from the clutches of a power-hungry despot. And I love the detail of the radio man who makes up an excuse why a base is re-liberated by the rebels. While this task seemed monumental, Rico is no ordinary man. Armed with his trusty grappling hook, parachute, and an arsenal of ridiculous gadgets, he's more than equipped to take on Diravello's forces. From high-speed chases across Bavarian-powered military convoys to aerial assaults that leave entire bases in smoldering ruins, Rico's unique style of guerrilla warfare makes every encounter a spectacle of chaos and creativity. Leading into the gameplay, Just Cause 3 stays true to the series' tried and true formula: a massive open world, plenty of things to blow up, and a protagonist who's practically a superhero with a grappling hook. But what sets this installment in the series apart is the way it refines and reimagines that formula. This isn't just another sequel, it's the most ambitious and polished entry in the franchise yet. It's bigger, sillier, and more importantly, freer than it was before. Freedom was the keyword here. Whether you were zipping around the map using Rico's upgraded grappling hook, wingsuit gracefully over Medici's breathtaking landscapes, or rigging up a car to a helicopter just to see what happens, the game constantly encourages you to experiment, to push the boundaries of what's possible, and to create your own moments of pure, unfiltered chaos. And this sense of freedom is so intoxicating that even after pouring 100+ hours into the game, it's still as fun and fresh as ever. Every time I play, I discover something new. Whether it's a hidden Easter egg, an absurd stunt I didn't think was possible, or just another way to send a fuel tank flying into the stratosphere. It's not just the huge scale of the open map that impresses, it's the sheer audacity of its design. Medici feels alive, not just as a world to explore, but as a massive playground for destruction and creativity. What I mean by that is each region has its own distinct personality. From the seaside towns and sprawling farmland to towering mountains and fortified military bases, every area is packed with opportunities for some explosive action. And of course, no game is perfect. Just Cause 3 isn't without its quirks. Severe crashes and bugs have popped up here and there, reminding me that even the most polished experiences can have their rough edges. But honestly, the occasional technical hiccup hasn't distracted from the sheer joy of playing. If anything, it's become part of the unpredictable chaos that defines the games. Let's talk about the town liberation. Liberating a town or base doesn't just grant you control of the area, it also unlocks a variety of challenges. They are essentially mini-games where your performance earns you gears, which can be used to unlock abilities related to the activity. For example, nailing a high score in a car race will grant you upgrades for driving skills, while mastering a wingsuit course will improve your aerial maneuvers. These challenges are unexpectedly diverse, ranging from the straightforward to the delightfully absurd. There's the obvious stuff, like steering a boat through a series of checkpoints against the clock, or completing time-sensitive objectives. But then you have the more chaotic ones, like being tasked to destroy as much of a base as possible using a specific weapon. And yes, I know you all cheated by just taking a helicopter and doing it this way. And while I do wish the system allowed for more freedom in choosing which upgrades to unlock with your earned gears, the variety and creativity of the challenges make the system engaging. It's very hard to complain when the games reward you with hilariously over-the-top extras, like nitro boosters on a helicopter. This whole system not only adds layers of fun to the gameplay, but also keeps you coming back for more, eager to see what new form of chaos you can unlock next. So, Just Cause 3 is nothing short of an epic triumph, a wonderfully irrelevant antidote to the often grim, serious tone of games like Far Cry. It's a riot of ludicrous detail, jam-packed with gags, surprises, and so many collectibles that it almost feels like a kleptomaniac's dream come true. This game has a good-natured sense of humor that doesn't take itself too seriously. but it still manages to acknowledge the serious undertones of its story. While it never forgets that fascist dictators aren't exactly the punchline of a joke, it strikes a perfect balance between levity and the heavy themes it addresses. The characters are some of the most lovable and memorable I've encountered in any game. I mean, who wouldn't want to hang out with Dima? She's a standout, and I'm officially on Team Dima for life. So, after exploring the 834 meters of Medici, I've barely even scratched the surface of what this game offers. And even with the bugs and the glitches, Just Cause 3 stands as my favorite game of all time. If you're looking for a game that's as fun as it's ridiculously over the top, Just Cause 3 is a triumph. And I'm already looking forward to Just Cause 5. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked it, maybe you like my next one. And as always, don't forget to like, share, comment, donate, master.